Hey everybody, ronarray here, and before the patch I did a 50 tier 4 Xesht farming video, checking out how profitable it is and how good it is to just farm Breachstones. It's been pretty profitable before, but since in 0.2G, GG decided to change the whole loot system and improve drops from various monsters, bosses, I decided to just do that again. So after the patch, I farmed 50 tier 4 Xesht again to check how profitable it is right now. Indeed, the drop been pretty different. So in this video, I'm going to cover how profitable it is, how much time I spend, and is it good to farm right now. Let's go. So like with any farming, let's start with the cost. Currently, one Breachstone costs about 40 exalted, which is pretty low. I bought 50 of them, so I paid 2000 exalted, and it's exactly the same amount that I paid before the patch, nothing changed there. But we will need to keep in mind that divine prices changed. So right now I paid only 11.5 divines right now because the prices for divines went up after the patch. And for 11.5 divines, I received all 50 runs and we're going to calculate profit with that amount in mind. Since most of the time I've been one-shotting tier 4 Xesht with my Flicker Strike build, the whole run taking about 3 minutes approximately, including time that you will need to spend to sort out the items, because there's like a lot of stuff dropping. So all 50 runs took about 3 hours approximately as well, and I think it's a pretty decent time, including the time for sorting and buying the Breachstones. So now let's talk about the loot, and it's pretty much the first thing that I noticed after the patch. Now Xesht himself and location before him dropping significantly more raw currency. I dropped 5 raw divines in 50 runs, which is very good. It's about 10% drop rate just for raw divines. I also dropped 21 chaos orb, which is practically 1 divine more. And also 2 uncut skill gems level 20, both of them are approximately 1 divine as well. Amount of exalted orbs are pretty much kinda close, and I also get 1 orb of chance and 1 orb of annulment. So all of that together leads us to about 8.5, so like 8.5 divines just from raw currency drops and from skilled gems, which is absolutely amazing, because as you remember in the previous video I showcased that there have been practically no raw currency drops, and right now we've just received 5 free divines on top of everything else, which is very good right now, and I think it's making the whole farm pretty much worth it, especially considering that we spent only 11.5 divines to pretty much do the whole run. So we made almost all our currency back just from raw currency drops. So next step is controlled Metamorphosis jewels, and I received significantly more jewels than I received before. In the previous less than 50 runs I dropped only 4 jewels, but that time around I practically dropped 7 of them instead. Unfortunately, prices for the jewels went a little down, so 7 of them right now will be like 40 exalted each approximately if we will sell unidentified, and for all of them I think I can expect to get like 1.5 divines, which is not a lot, but amount of jewels dropping significantly increased, even if you'll consider the possibility that I've been just unlucky before and right now I've been a little more lucky compared. 7 jewels sounds much better than 4 in that case, because it's almost doubled. And at that point you could just probably think that maybe I got significantly lucky with jewels, but the situation with gloves is even better. I dropped about 9 spear wrapped, so just like hand of wisdom and action, compared to 6 before. So that's about 50% increase as well. And the price for gloves are pretty much literally the same, so they go approximately like 70 exalts unidentified. So all of those gloves were going to lead me to pretty much 3.5, so like 3.5 divines in the profit from just the gloves. And as you probably noticed, I dropped more both jewels and gloves, so I would say it would be a pretty nice idea to just draw a conclusion that drop itself significantly increased. because we're just dropping much more right now. And even if the price for Divine increased as well, we're still making more Divines from Gloves, for example, than we made in the previous test. But if some parts of the farm changed, some other parts stayed exactly the same. So I dropped 56 breach rings compared to 57 that I dropped in the previous test. Since most of the rings are just coming from us touching breach hands in the process of running the Breachstone, I really feel like amount of rings is very stable right now. So I received 56 of them, maybe because I just missed one of the hands and it should be 57. So I think the whole situation with the rings is very close to what we had before, because it's not a clear drop. So 56 rings currently cost about like 18 to 19 exalts approximately, and if I will sell all of them just like that and not going to craft them myself, I think I will receive about 6 divines approximately too, which is very close to what we had before. Talking about catalysts, currently situation is not really changed significantly. I dropped a lot of catalysts in the process, but I mostly calculated river catalysts. Other catalysts I just sold in a very big bulk, and I think it's been approximately 1 divine for most of them. For the river catalysts, I dropped about 98 of them, before it's been 94 in the previous test, so I think the amount is very close. Considering the current prices, all river catalysts that I have right here will give me about 5 divines overall. Together with other catalysts that I already sold, it will be about 6 divines from catalysts in general, which is a pretty decent number, especially if you will just sold the rest of them in a bulk and will not really bother with sorting them out or doing anything else with the rest. And talking about the last part is keys from Xesht. Unfortunately, that time around I dropped 0 keys from Xesht. So if the previous test I've been a little lucky and I dropped like 2 keys in general, that time around it's been 0 keys at all. But I don't really think it's a big problem, because it's mostly luck based, and I really feel like it's being compensated with much better drop rate for gloves and jewels together. So now let's talk about our profit in general. While farming everything here, I received about 25.5 or 26 even divines from selling everything that dropped. And before the patch, I've been receiving only 22 divines. So that's about 20% increase in overall profitability. We'll need to keep in mind that such things as catalysts and rings not really heavily affected by patch, so just gloves, jewels by themselves can bring amount of our profit higher and add about 4 additional divines. We also need to keep in mind that prices change significantly before and after the patch too. So the whole profit right now is approximately 14 divines, because we received like 25.5, and I paid 11.5 for entrances, because I paid less for entrances right now. So 14 divines is the overall profit. And in the previous video, we received only 7 divines in profit. So the whole profit in divines practically doubled all over the patch. And considering 14 divines is a pretty good number, I think right now, since I spent approximately like 3 hours, we can expect something in between 4 to 5 divine per hour, just farming Xesht non-stop. And I really think it's a very profitable strategy right now, compared to many others, because it's pretty easy to do if your build can just kill Xesht fast or even one-shot him, and it's also pretty easy to do. So you're constantly buying Breachstones without thinking about that twice, and Breachstones will only fall down in price, because not a lot of people want to farm Xesht. I think like 4 to 5 divines per hour right now is a very good number. Making Xesht farm is very profitable, and I would probably recommend to do that if you can and if you will not get bored too heavily from it. And I also feel like the patch improved the whole set of drop significantly, making it much more profitable just because of the raw drops, because Xesht right now providing a very decent amount of raw divines. We also need to keep in mind that I had about 100% rarity at my character during the test, so if it affects the final number of raw divines that we are dropping, I think something around 80 to 100% character rarity is pretty much necessary. But with such numbers, I expect that Xesht farm will stay more popular at least until ring prices will be approximately like 20 exalteds, and the prices for gloves and jewels will stay stable. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will be able to utilize it to get some profit yourselves.